All right, so we've got the RCBS Charge Master 1500 here. What's it doing here? I'm about to take it apart, and we're going to see what's inside and how this thing works. Now, why am I bold enough to do this? It's because I actually now have an Auto Trickler Mark IV, and so I'm just kind of curious how similar this thing is internally to how the Auto Trickler works. So I've got some ideas about how this thing probably works inside. I'm guessing it's just going to have a little stepper or servo motor to drive this tube, and then it's just going to connect to this scale, and there's probably a microcontroller inside that takes care of all the logic. Looking at all the memory stuff and the way this thing works, I think probably all the brains may be in the scale, but I'm not exactly sure. So that's the point. I want to see what's inside of this thing, and I figured, hey, why not put it on video so that maybe we can all learn something about how these things are made, see what kind of quality is inside. So I can't really get this thing off. I think that's in there pretty good, and I don't want to break it. So I'll leave that. Let's take these weights out. Take this pan and planche out. So let's see what we got on the underside. Screws. All right, so let's open on these. All right, so that slides out. What do we see on the bottom? Let's see, manufactured by Excel, made in China, warranty void if removed. All right, looks like we got some deep screw holes underneath that sticker too. It says warranty void if removed. Trust me, not in the United States. And let's see. I guess while we're here, let's go ahead and do this one too. While we're breaking stuff, go ahead and break it all. Interesting. Got those two screws right there. There's the communications port, like a 32-pin port there. We got, again, another screw under a sticker here. Two at the back, two in the front. All right, so what do we want to start with first? Let's start with this thing. By the way, that wasn't broken. These are just little spring-loaded ball bearings that keep that in place, so you can actually do what I just did and pull that whole thing off. See if we can get that up in there. There's no fit. I have to get a non-insulated screwdriver for this. Okay. All right, easy peasy. A cable, couple cables. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Here's the motor assembly. Oh, there's the motor. Okay, 4.5 volt. Part number. I'm guessing this is the manufacture date, 2017, 11/27. Okay, we got a little ferrite just to prevent interference. Simple little transmission. A little spring drive kind of thing going on there. And it looks like just a 1-to-1 transmission, which is kind of funny. I guess maybe the motor, well, I don't know. I guess your options there, what, belt or gear. So that's probably the best bet. Again, on the inside, it's just aluminum tube that rotates and picks up powder and then feeds it through this threaded tube. So there that is. And it looks like, you know, I could continue taking this down and kind of get into there, but I don't really think there's any reason. You can see there's just a mounting plate that's made out of aluminum that thing mounts to. It's pretty rough, right? Looks like it's maybe ground or sawn. I think it's just sawn into shape there. Nothing too fancy. So yeah, just a little bitty tiny motor. So that tells me, looking at that thing and looking at it's just positive, negative. So this little motor is not a stepper or a servo. This thing literally just spins. So I'm guessing the controller isn't really counting steps. It's just probably doing some timed pulse or something like that. And then let's see what we got over here. All right, so here's our little guts, motor drive. Looks like we got a big, I don't know, probably a MOSFET for the motor there. Switching it on and off. I think maybe big inductor or something. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm trying to look pretty close, and I realize that probably can't really see very well. It's got a conformal coating on it. Makes it kind of tough to see. I don't see, I'm trying to see if there's a microcontroller. So I see something that's a little 8-pin chip. Let me see if I can figure out what that is. All right, so upon closer inspection, that looks like a analog devices 8629. Let me see if the 5X will help. Or 8829. Nope, there we go. There's the AD8629. It's a little operational amplifier. So nothing too fancy there. No brains on this board, kind of as I was assuming there wouldn't be. Just kind of some power circuitry to run that little motor. And again, you know, right there you got a little MOSFET. I don't know if we can really see what kind it is. Let's see, it's a ST Micro, let's see, L7808. Again, MOSFET or a voltage regulator or something like that. Another kind of MOSFET or voltage regulator there, it looks like. So anyway, like I said, op amps, power circuitry, just stuff to run that motor. So I guess at this point, we should turn our attention over to the brain box. So as I figured, you know, all the brains are in scale, and it communicates. Basically, it's going to tell, you know, this thing to turn on and off. And so, you know, it's got all this other stuff that is basically, I think, just this resistive touch panel up here. And as you push on these buttons, it just makes different connections and communicates to the brain box through this little ribbon cable. So not much really in this end of the machine. Not surprising, because like I said, all the brains are going to be in here, so let's crack this puppy open. Once again, we get to void warranties as we do so. So let's see what we've got left. This one's done. I don't think these two little Allen keys need to be removed. Something tells me that those are probably just holding something internally. Screw this out, and let's see what we got. All right, some joy here. All right, so we got some wires soldered there that we can't remove. We've got, okay, so here we go. So the balance in there, turn it like this. So there's the load cell. You can see we've got pressure on the top, pushing on this tuned bar arrangement. It's got some strain gauges in there that measure the weight. Let's see if it'll even tell us. I don't want to jack with it because I'm sure it's calibrated somewhat. All right, so it's probably hard to see, but it says hzloadcell.com. Gives you a serial number, and I don't know, maybe I'll take that thing off. There's the communications port just coming into this connector that runs off onto the board. And I guess, let's see what else we can see. Yeah, so the two Allen keys down there are just mounts. Let me take this off because I do want to see what kind of load cell. And before I do that, let me unplug this multi-cable. Okay, that'll give us a little bit of breathing room. Okay, and then we can look at this board here in a second. All right, so there's the load cell. Let me zoom in on this. So there you go. There's the load cell, 300 gram max 0.01 resolution. It's a 651C, again from HZ Load Cells. So one of the dumb things I don't like about these is the fact that the power port is right up on the side, and on this unit, it ends up being the side of the front, so you get this cable kind of going off. I don't know. That's partially because the power and brains to run the actual dropper system are all housed up here. But I don't know that. I think they sell the scale separately from this, and so I guess they. I mean, I don't know. We can't put it right there, put it somewhere else. But anyway, that's where it ended up. But so let me look into this. Let me get a little closer on this, and I'll see if I can figure out what these chips are. So be right back. All right, so we've done some poking and prodding, and we figured some of this stuff out. So the big chip here is a TTP916. It's a LCD controller for the front display. This little chip over here is it's an ADC. So you can see the circuitry, these wires coming in from the actual load cell, and then we've got an ADC here from Cirrus. Looks like a CS5530 with some other stuff, so it's ADC. And then up here we have a Renesas 64-bit microcontroller. So that's your big brain right there. So the other circuitry on here, again, you've got your load cell inputs coming in, and so I'm assuming all of this is related to the load cell circuitries, the ADC, probably a little crystal here to set frequency right next to it. Over here on the left, this is where the 12 volt DC power comes in. So here you've got all your power circuitry and maybe some voltage regulators. I don't know. Microcontrollers probably run on like 5 volts or 3.3 or something like that. And so that's basically what the rest of this is. Again, you've got your panel controller here, and who knows, maybe something else for the buttons and things. So that's mostly what's in here. I'm not really sure what this little switch right here does. This may be for programming because it says lock and then ADJ on the other. So that's probably like an adjustable circuitry to maybe tune this thing or get the scale calibrated. It's also got the buzzer. So that's your buzzer. So whenever it reaches, it can beep and buzz at you in case there's an error, an overthrow. And so that's basically the circuitry here. Not really that complicated. I'm not sure that may be something to program it. I'm trying to see what it says. Yeah, connection 3. Not sure. So that may be something to program. And again, maybe you switch this thing over to adjust, and then they can plug in and program the board or something. But anyway, that's enough of that. And we can flip this thing over and see what's on the other side. The last thing I've got to check is just to make sure that this thing isn't a dual layer PCB, that nothing's hiding on the back. So let me flip this thing over and I'll get this board out and we'll see what's on the other side. And nah, single-sided, except for you got your LCD, and then here again going to the buttons. All right, so I'm going to slap this thing back together, and then we'll conclude the video. So as I was putting this thing back together, it dawned on me what this thing is actually for, and I kind of wondered, and I kind of wondered earlier what this thing was. It allows a little mount for a screw right here that seems to keep, I don't know, maybe this thing retained, but more importantly, up here at the front, it looks like a stop. That way, if something kind of crushes the top down, that it maybe won't get pushed into the load cell because this little planche sits on top, and that's what actually the thing you're weighing sets on, and it goes through this hole and touches the load cell. So I'm guessing this is just to somehow prevent maybe excess flex or something to keep stuff from crushing the top end of the load cell. Anyway, I'm not sure. That's just something I saw while I was putting this thing back together. All right, so there we go. And let me, just to assuage any fears that somehow I have screwed this thing all up by opening it. Let's see if we'll get her to calibrate. All right, so if I add this, oh, we got to flip over to grams. There we go, 50 grams. Cannot see the screen because, oh, there we go, polarization or something on those LCDs, but there you go. Seems to still work fine. No problems, like I said. So, haven't messed anything up. She still works. We can even test to make sure. Yeah, motor's still working. All right, so no problems there. And so that's gonna wrap up this video. It's kind of one of those things, is a simple thing to do, but I'd always kind of wondered how different this thing was from an auto trickler inside, and it turns out substantially cheaper, I would say. I mean, in some ways. Now, I will say it wasn't cheap as far as the controller board had a lot going on. Because it had to do the weighing, it's got the load cell and everything, kind of in this base unit, and it's got the microcontroller, whereas the inside of an auto trickler, it's basically an Arduino. But the motor, exceptionally cheap, the whole drive system, exceptionally cheap. So this back portion is really, really inexpensive. The front is where all the brains are. That's where all the money is on these things. It's in this deal. That's it. If you got any questions or feedback or anything else that you like to see, I can do the same thing with an auto trickler to show you what it's running. Again, I've looked at it. It's basically an Arduino with a Bluetooth module. But that's what it is. So welcome to leave any comments down below, and I'll get back to you when I can.